Hello iChurchers and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at creating and editing posts. So in previous tutorial videos we have briefly touched on what a post is and also why they exist. WordPress began as a blogging piece of software, a blogging site where people could put their musings on in whatever way, shape or form that took. And it's evolved into what it is now, what we see today in terms of its capabilities of providing us with an entire website. But that feature remains, and it remains a very useful feature. So posts are there for us in our context, usually to display things like latest news, what's going on and what has been going on and what's going on in the future. And just to set the scene, we can see on our draft website here, which is iChurch6.org.uk, our kind of demonstration website, we can see that under what's on, we have this latest news here. Now, it's not been populated very much. We only have 3 posts to begin with. But just to give you an example of what a good latest news section looks like, we can see on this Wessex Synod website, which was created by iChurch, we have posts that are displayed in this case in date order from newest to older as we go further back, and then you can look older and older as well. So this post display can be customized as well, the actual display. And then also posts can be used even further to actually send posts into different areas of the website. And that's using the category system, and we will look at that very shortly. But the main thing that posts would contain are basically text and images. It could be sort of a report on an event that happened, so say your messy church that happened last week. It could be a bit of information about an event that's coming up, or it could just be your latest letter from your minister, or thought for the day from an elder, or whatever the context might be. Posts are great for that kind of dynamic information that's being released as often as possible, really. Weekly, monthly, but even more frequently than that as well would be the ideal. So today we're going to talk through how to create a post and the key elements that you need to contain. Unfortunately, this tutorial won't tell you what to put in your post, but it might end up with a few hints and tips as to the kind of writing you want to do. But put it this way, think of it like a newspaper article. If you want to hark back to primary school days as if you were still having to write a newspaper article about something going on, then feel free to do so. So how do we create a post? Well, we need to be in the back end of our website to begin with, and we need to go to posts. And we can click add a new post at the top here. And adding a new post is really, really easy, and creating one is really easy. I'm opening this for the first time. I've not used this post editing tool in this draft website yet, so it's taken me through this tour of a block editor. And we're not going to touch much on the block editor at all, really, because it used to be the primary method of editing our website, but we use Divi now, and that's what this set of tutorials primarily walks us through, is how to use Divi. But anyway, I'm going to skip through this tutorial, and this is what you will normally see. Basically, you will normally see the title. So we want a nice snappy title for our article. So I'm just going to, for the sake of speed, I'm just going to put in our snappy title, and then it says, do you want to use the Divi builder or use the default editor? Now, all we're adding in this case is text and images. It's nice and simple, so I'm going to click use default editor, because the Divi builder is a very powerful tool, but actually the features it gives us are not really worthwhile and not really worth using for just our blog post, because all it's going to do is contain some text. So the first thing we can do is we can simply type some text in. Now I'm just going to copy a chunk of text just to stick it in. This is just dummy Latin text, just so you can see what it looks like. So this is what our post looks like at the moment. So you put the text that you want in. Now you might wish to type it as you go, or you may have it in a Word document. You may have been sent it by somebody else. And you might want to copy it in. Nice and easy. It's essentially like editing a Word document. And the only other thing really to look at is how to add in images or indeed videos. We wouldn't recommend importing videos, but you can use YouTube links and paste YouTube links into this post. So how do we look at doing any of those things, either adding an image or adding a video? So we have to click this plus button in the top left hand corner, and this can add in a block. Now, similar to how Divi has modules, this editor here has blocks. But we don't need to focus on many of these because all we're really looking at is images and videos. So to insert an image, we simply click the image button and then upload an image. We can either do it from our media library, so that's the photos we already have on here, or we can upload one ourselves and it will come up to our files. So we've got several options there. I'm just going to drag in a flyer that we've used in the past in Yorkshire Synod, and we can see that this image has been inserted straight away, nice and easy. So at the top of the image we have lots of editing options. The key ones to look at are the align button, so do we want to align it left, centre or right or full width? Now I'm going to align mine to the right. But obviously at the moment you can see it's quite big, so I'm going to shrink it down, make it a little bit smaller. Now at the moment this still doesn't look great, it still looks like it's sticking out on the right hand side. But one of the quirks of WordPress is that it does, this particular scenario when we're using the block editor for our posts, what you see on the back here is not always what you get on the front. So this is why we have to use our preview. So before we preview, we have to save. So let's click Save Draft. And then we can see we've got this View Preview button at the bottom here. So I'm going to click View Preview. And we will see that it's actually different looking on the front than it is from the back. So what you see is not always what you get. So although this image looks like it's cast out to the right hand side, if we want to preview it again, the first thing I'll just want to caveat is that I've inserted, or I'm going to remove this for a moment, what we call a featured image. So the featured image is basically your headline image. So that's the image that, coming back to Wessex Synod's website, that's the image that comes up on the kind of title on the display of posts. So you want that to be a good image. In this case, this could actually be the very same image. So, and that's what WordPress will do. It will if there's only one image in the post, it will automatically pull that to be the featured image. So if you want to make it a different one, make sure you click Set Featured Image and set one. I'm going to set it as the same one just to sort of keep it consistent. And then to preview at any other time, I mean, I can click Save Draft again and it will come up with View Preview in the bottom left hand corner. But to preview at any other time, you can simply click this sort of laptop here, and you can view it in either a desktop size, tablet size or mobile size. This is really important. It's what we call responsiveness or responsivity. It's the way that our website, in this case our post, adapts to being on a different size device. So if I click mobile, we can see that actually this image is still going to be quite cramped up a little bit. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller still. The text was quite cramped in, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller still. And then when I view it on desktop again, I can click Preview in the new tab, and this will actually show me as it stands on the website if I was to publish it. So we've got our title at the top, we've got our date next, and then we've got our featured image, which is nice and big and bold. We can customize this display for you, either to not display a featured image at all on the post on a post, or it can be in a different place. But this is generally how we suggest it being displayed, a nice big image. And then we can see we've got our photo later on in the article. We can insert more photos as well if we want. We can do other things to photos like crop. We can add in a link as well. So if we want to say click on the image and it'll take you to the website to sign up, for example, then you can do that too. And we will go through adding links in another tutorial. But that is the principle of editing a post itself. We can add in other blocks, as we've already discussed. If you want to search for something, some kind of media that you want to insert, like in this case, I want to put in a video, I'm going to put in a YouTube, and then simply you type in the URL, or copy it. So copy your YouTube link, your YouTube video, and you can paste it in here, and it will display. It will embed it. So it will embed the front page of the video onto the blog, onto the post, and then you will be able to press play, and it will play the video within your website. Now it's still pulling it from YouTube, so there's no copyright implications there. So you can still do that legitimately by simply popping in the YouTube link and pressing embed. To delete this, or to delete any block, we can kind of click such that we've got this blue border around, and we can press the delete key on our keyboard. Or, as in lots of areas of our website, and indeed on most sort of laptops and tablets, etc., you can click the three dots to find more options, where you can copy, duplicate, and move it around, but also the delete button as well. The beauty of the block editor is you can drag it around a bit. So you can drag blocks around and sort of sit it further up or further down with the arrows as well. And again, just have a preview it in a new tab, just to see what the changes look like. And then if you're happy with those changes, then click, in this case, the publish button, because we're still in a draft mode. But this button will turn to the update button. So you can make some changes and then press the update button. The other key things to remember about creating a post. Most of it is all this stuff on the right hand side in our post settings. So we've got our title, we've got our featured image, which we've already discussed. You can add an excerpt, so that helps with search engine optimization. So that's making our website suitable for search engines to find bits on our website, so the search engine can then send it to people when they make searches. So an excerpt is like a good snappy summary of your post. As we move further down, we've already talked about things like links, but this is our slug, and slugs was discussed in a previous tutorial video. We can change the status of our post. There's lots of different options. Do feel free to have a play around with those. But the key things to add really are categories. At the moment on this website, we only have one category, and that is uncategorized. But your website is likely to have several different categories, and that helps with sending the correct posts to the correct parts of your website. So for children's and youth, for example, if you've got a blog post about your messy church or your youth group that happened last week, and then on your actual website, you've got a children's and youth page, which tells people about the different activities that are going on. You can then, we can set up the website for you such that it will also have a display of the latest posts about children and youth. We'll talk through that with you when we create your website, and you can just tick those categories as appropriate, basically. Tags help with searching both internally on your own when people search on your website, but they also work externally as well for search engine optimization. So tags, I would suggest maybe 4 or 5 tags, which essentially are keywords. What is your article about? And what will people find inside it? Try to keep tags not too generic, such as just news or church, but don't keep them too specific either, such as, Sunday the 9th of September as a tag. Try and keep it somewhere in between such that people may still be able to come across it in whatever circumstance they find themselves, but also not too specific such that it will be impossible to find it anyway. So I would suggest about 4 or 5 tags, and as the instruction says here, separate with commas or the enter key. So a few different keywords. Once you've done all of that, then click publish, or as we've already discussed, if it might just be a case of updating rather than publishing. If you need to bring a post back offline, if you've published it by accident, then you can just change the status to draft again, or pending, or private indeed. You can also schedule posts. You can schedule posts to go out at a future date. So this is really handy for if you have prepared something, but actually it doesn't need to go out for another 10 days. Let's say you do a monthly thought for the month, and you've received it already. You've got time to put it on the website, but you don't want to publish it yet because it needs to be published on, say, the first of the month. Then you can change the time to schedule it to get published on that day and at that time. So that, in a nutshell, is posts. As with anything, folks, if you have any further questions about this tutorial or anything else about your iChurch website, don't hesitate to get in touch, but do also consult the other tutorial videos, both the ones provided by iChurch, but also ones, there are many provided by Divi themselves, and WordPress as well. Do feel free to have a Google around, and I'm sure there'll be support out there for you. But don't hesitate to get in touch if you need to. That's support@ichurch.website. Support@ichurch.website. And we'll see you again soon.